why the heck would food manufacturers actually jump on board and take out synthetic dyes of their food? I know you're like, well, because the FDA told them to. No, this is part 7 of our series on the quote unquote food dye ban. You need to go back to class, go back to our early videos. A, this is not a ban. B, the US cannot even support it if it was a ban. And C, there are no repercussions for any company that chooses not to voluntarily comply with this phase out. So why would any food manufacturer actually voluntarily do this? Well, spoiler alert, they're not going to. Okay. And let's just the most obvious. Right now, major food corporations, their sales are declining like crazy. We covered a story earlier about that snack sales are way down. Snacks were supposed to be the next big it item. And now people are choosing to not buy snacks because they're too busy buying eggs and meat and staple products. They don't have any more money for snacks, the extras. Okay. But when we switch everything over to natural food dyes, we've got to change all the packaging. We got to pay the food scientists to reformulate the coloring. We're going to have to pay people to change the recipes. We're possibly going to have to change the equipment that we make food on to now be able to use natural food dyes versus the synthetic because it's going to take more of it. Okay. Yeah. Plus, it's now going to be pH. It's reactive to pH levels. It's reactive to light. Can you imagine a food factory in the dark because God forbid your natural food coloring has light on it?
Yep.
You know? So all of those things are going to cost a crap ton of money. And food manufacturers aren't going to just do it out of the goodness of their heart. They're going to pass that cost on to you. So if you don't like paying $5, $8, $9 for a bag of chips now, how are you going to feel when that bag of chips is $12, $15, $18? How many bags of chips are you going to be buying? Probably not many, if at all. No. I already have a problem with name brand chips being expensive right now, and I'm not even buying the dye-free options that are available. So what is it going to look like if everybody now has to be dye-free?
Man.
Now, here's the other thing, okay? Americans have already proved they spend their money with their eyeballs, okay? Multiple instances where companies have removed synthetic dyes from their products and their sales tanked. Now, what always gets these companies is that for a brief split second in time, their sales may have actually gone up. And that's typically people that are already part of the dye-free community. They go and support, oh, let's buy some natural colored tricks. Right. They bought one box just to say that they did. They ate it and said, oh God, look at all the other crap that's in here. I'm not eating this. Okay. Because you know what? The members of the quote unquote dye-free community, they are typically not buying bright sugary snacks anyway. Okay. So there's no growth opportunity in reformulating. Okay. If everything on the cereal aisle is now made with natural food colors, I guarantee you hippie hipster is not magically going to start buying Apple Jacks.
No. I'm really not. But that's it. That's the whole point. And that's why I don't understand people that are like, we must do all of the things. Because I'm like this. Because I'm particular and I'm picky on what I buy and what the ingredient list looks like. Because I read the ingredient list on everything. And I've now reached a Zen point, right? Where I have my list of items that I know are cleaner or like the improved version. And it's not always the high dollar item. Let's get that clear. It's not always the name brand item. Sometimes the store item is the cleanest one because it's only got 5 things and everybody else got 9 to 10. So like that aspect of it. But I'm reading labels. I'm already not purchasing that. I'm not looking to change that item to purchase that. If I want something like it, I look at what's offered already in that realm and go, hey, that based on like ingredient list, flavor profiles, all those things, that looks a lot like this, but it's already dye-free. I'm not trying to modify what exists. ingredients. I'm buying
Well,
what is available in that realm.
I hate to like point out the obvious that nobody wants to talk about, but if you look at members of the quote unquote dye free community, the ones that want all natural colorings, the majority of that population is upper middle class.
Yeah.
A lot of them are white,
Yeah.
okay? And they have a lot of disposable income.
Yeah.
Okay. The people that they may be aware of it, they may not be huge fans of it, and they just practice moderation. They're going to be the ones that are low income, that they can't afford everything that's dye free. Because all
No.
the items that are made with natural food colorings are at best twice as much in cost. Sometimes the dye free alternative is 3 to 5 to 7 times more expensive than the original that has synthetic dyes in it.
Well,
So,
there is kind of a middle ground on that one. So, like, if you're looking for things that are dye free and not necessarily naturally colored, you're not looking for colorful cereals, you're looking for dye free. That's kind of easy to get to, really, in the
yes,
cereal realm at least.
there is. If you're looking at more healthy style cereals, those a lot of them don't have synthetic dyes in them. It's
Mm-hmm.
the sugary kid, pretty low nutrition value type cereals,
Yeah. But those
which
those
honestly
are
I want a study that shows for every box of the child type cereal with the marshmallows and the bright colors, how much of that is actually being eaten by children and not being eaten by adults at
yeah.
midnight.
Well, and that's kind of the other thing I was thinking about when you think about like those brightly colored cereals we're talking about, like your General Mills, so your and Kellogg's and whatever, so Fruit Loops and Trix and like cut Lucky Charms, things like that, right? Those are not your most cost effective.
No,
So
a lot of them are actually pretty expensive compared to healthier options. What is it? I'm going to mess this up. Honey Bunches of Oats,
yeah,
which is it's usually on most states' WIC list. So I would say it's kind of middle ground as far as healthy.
yeah,
It's not the make you poop cereal, which may be
no,
the healthiest option, but it's not bad.
right.
It doesn't have
Sugar
any,
content's a little high, but overall,
it
there's no
doesn't have
colors.
any
There's
dyes
no
in it though.
right.
And so we already discussed that a lot of these natural dyes are going to increase allergen risks.
Hmm.
Okay. There's a lot of people out there that are allergic to stuff. They don't even know they're allergic because they haven't had it in high doses,
Or
which if we
consistently.
switch or recently, or they just haven't made the connection that they're actually allergic to something. But here's another thing. Okay. So, we've become this culture, okay, of where we get so adamant. We have very big feelings and we share those big feelings on social media and we
Yeah.
try to convince other people to have big feelings, okay? But at the end of the day, I have a choice of how I respond to those big feelings.
Yeah.
I can blame everybody on the planet for my big feelings. I can work around my big feelings and find alternatives,
Yeah.
or I can ban all big feelings. You must all feel the exact same way that I do. And if you don't, oh well.
You must feel my feelings and agree with those feelings and feel those feelings as well.
So at the end of the day, it makes no financial sense for food manufacturers to comply with this voluntary phase out. Okay.
On
Because
all levels.
I feel like I will die on this hill. When Ross yelled out, "We were on a break," I now want to yell out, "It's not a ban," because it's not.
It's not.
It is a bunch of people going, "Hey, buddy, in the food industry, if you get a chance, can you phase this out? That would be awesome and really work for our agenda."
Pretty
Pretty please.
please.
Oh, and by
Pretty
the
please.
way, while we've got everybody focusing on artificial food dyes, we are slashing funding for food banks, for fresh food for children in schools. We are defunding the FDA, which tests for, all the bad things in our food. And then, I don't know if you noticed this, but we are deregulating. We are pulling back regulations about our environment that have been in place for years, which could actually lead to more heavy metal, more toxic substances in our air, in our water, our soil. I'm more concerned with all that than I am about what freaking color you're using in my cereal that I'm eating at midnight when my kids are asleep. Okay? Because I get it that in some people's mind, this is the first step. We're going to get healthy. You know what? If you want to get freaking healthy, eat fruit or vegetables. Because I guarantee you, 90% of Americans do not eat enough fruits and vegetables. Put down the ding dongs and the ho hos and the sugary kids cereal. Eat real food, and then you will be healthier again. Taking the dyes out of your food does not make it healthier. You can have an organic Pop Tarts, and it is not any healthier for you than a regular Pop Tart. It's still full of sugar.
It's still calories that you don't need. It's
Yeah.
still a dessert.
It's still a dessert. It should be used in moderation. So you know what? While we're at it, let's just ban all freaking Pop-Tarts. I don't care if you're conventional Pop-Tarts, you're organic, you're vegan. I'm coming for all the Pop-Tarts. You're not healthy. Therefore, if you eat Pop-Tarts, you are unhealthy. You need to go to unhealthy jail, because this is how this is feeling. Okay? We're attacking something that is minuscule on the health regulating scale, but we are going to make it humongous. We're going to focus all of our energy on it. Wait a minute. Isn't this what magicians do? It's all smoke and mirrors. Look at the big shiny object while I'm doing something over here that I'm going to amaze you with and surprise you with. What is coming that the artificial dye ban is preventing us from seeing? Okay? Yes, I'm wearing my full-on food conspiracy. Hell, at this point, it is governmental conspiracy theory. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat here because I'm telling you, this is not what is actually important. Something else is going on.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time before we figure out what it is, though. And
you know what? I am going to make them the greatest prediction.
Nostrageny
here. Okay? I expect by the end of 2026, we will be chasing a completely different boogeyman. Okay? No longer are we trying to kill off synthetic food dyes. We will now be onto something even more perilous, more health crazed, more Maha influencer gone viral on all social media. This is fleeting. This is not a problem that's actually being solved. And I guarantee you're not going to be healthier just because you're eating a natural colored cereal. So let us know down below. What is your predictions for the end of 2026? Do you think companies will actually comply? Will you all of a sudden start buying Lucky Charms and Trix because it's dye-free, even though you can kind of already get it now? Let us know your thoughts down below.